Blue Islands project carries out activities to identify, address and mitigate the effects of the seasonal variation of waste generated on the Mediterranean islands as an effect of tourism. The Mediterranean region is the world's leading tourist destination. The annual massive tourist wave towards the Mediterranean, largely concentrated with a short period, places a great burden to local infrastructure, especially for waste management. Local authorities face an often insurmountable challenge in coping with the resulting waste generation, especially during the high season. This issue has been a vexing problem for years, but it has never before been approached methodically.
Hi guys, this is Mika from the UAB in Spain. During the Blue Islands project, the UAB was in charge of the good implementation of the study phase, during which we conducted different studies in order to estimate the impact of tourism on the waste generation in coastal areas of Mediterranean islands. We worked together with partners from 8 islands. On these islands, we implemented a waste characterization study in order to estimate the amount of municipal solid waste generated by establishments related to tourism, such as hotels, bars or restaurants. We implemented as well the monitoring of the marine litter, or the waste that we can find directly on the sands on the beaches. If I had to summarize the results of these 2 studies, I would say that for the waste characterization study, on average, a tourist will generate 1.85 times more waste per day than a resident. This is an average, and in some places, especially in July and August, a tourist can generate up to 3.65 times more waste than a resident. Regarding the waste found directly on the beaches, the marine litter, we estimated that about 65% of the waste that we found was generated directly by the visitors. So yes, tourism has a significant impact on the generation of waste.
CONISMA carried out experiments with macroalgae in 3 islands, Cyprus, Sicily and Rhodes, in 2017, and specifically before, during and after the tourist peak, to assess the effects of tourism seasonality on the quality of coastal seawater. We collected macroalgae in pristine sites and then deployed them for 3 days in tourist beaches and remote beaches of each island. At the end of the experiment in the laboratory, we analyzed the nutrients uptaken by macroalgae. We found out that the occurrence of anthropogenic nutrients was higher in tourist beaches in August, during the tourist peak. However, such increase was small, was not high, suggesting overall a limited influence of anthropogenic activities on nutrient load in coastal seawater. Nevertheless, specific actions and strategies can be proposed and adopted to further limit the input of anthropogenic nutrients into the sea and to improve the quality of coastal seawater with beneficial repercussions on both the environment and tourism itself. The aim of Work Package 4 was to implement pilot actions designed to reduce marine litter in beaches and anthropogenic nutrients in coastal seawater of Mediterranean islands. For marine litter, the pilot actions caused an average reduction by 47% in the 6 islands investigated. The results were very encouraging. There was clear evidence on how important it is to implement on-site concrete actions and how the involvement of tourists is crucial to this purpose.
Hi everyone, my name is Christina Cassian and I'm representing the French cluster AIA Enterprises. I had the pleasure into the project to coordinate the Work Package 5, which is knowledge transferring. This work package is aiming to transfer the results and good practices from the project, but also from beyond, into the other interesting communities for a larger scale impact. For doing this, first we organized 4 capacity building webinars addressed to the partners, but also the other interesting stakeholders, in order to familiarize them with the notions of circular economy, life cycle assessment, integrated zones coastal management and sustainable tourism. We also coordinated together with our partners preparation of a good practices handbook addressed to the interested stakeholders. Another example is a transnational event which was organized last December. The aim of this event was to communicate and showcase existing working solutions and good practices in terms of waste management, which could be applied also to the partner islands strongly impacted by tourism.
Acer Plus was in charge of communication and dissemination for the Blue Islands project, and for us it was really interesting and useful to follow all the activities that partners were implementing in their countries on the field, and to see the efforts that they were doing to engage their local stakeholders. Communication is very important to make sure that the project results are in the end taken up by policymakers at a local and international level. And that's why throughout the project we organized a series of activities to make sure that we were communicating properly about what we were doing. And an example is the Charter of Commitments for Material Resource Management and Circular Economy that was signed by 22 representatives of decentralized public authorities from tourist destinations all around Europe, as well as by 5 members of the European Parliament. This charter is a declaration of intent to collaborate internationally in order to move towards a more sustainable tourism that takes into account the seasonal variation of population and waste.